Ladies, it's important that you pick out your own concealed carry handgun. And while you can take recommendations from men, it's not going to be the same for them as it is for you. So I'm gonna break down in this video my top 5 favorite concealed carry handguns, specifically for women. Hey everyone, it's Kenzie with Classic Firearms, and I'm here to talk to you about the top 5 concealed carry pistols for women. First off, before even talking about the guns, it's really important to know what you're looking for when you're shopping for a concealed carry handgun. It's really important that you go into maybe a range or into a gun store and put hands on these different pistols. The first is the fitment. All of our hands are different sizes, so it's really important that you go in, get a good grip on these guns, and if you can, go test fire them. That's going to be really essential. The other thing with the actual fitment of the hand onto the gun is whether or not your finger can reach the trigger. I've seen plenty of women come to the range with their concealed carry pistol and they're not even able to pull the trigger back because they can't reach it. Sometimes they'll adjust their grip, maybe use the first knuckle, and that's the wrong trigger pull. So that's really important that you go put hands on it. And the other thing that I like to talk about is capacity. You know, a lot of companies market to women and maybe they go with a 6-round gun, right? We need more capacity if we're gonna have a concealed carry handgun. So all of these that I have today are going to be 10 rounds and more, plus you could have more extensions on base pads and what have you. So let's talk about what I've got in front of me. So the first one is the Glock 43X. This actually is a 10-round capacity gun. And what I like about this is the actual slim fit of the grip. So for women, again, smaller size hands typically, we need something that's a little bit more comfortable and better fitment so we can reach the trigger. So this gun's great because it's just stock Glock, we're used to it. In terms of taking it apart, it's super simple. We know this, all the Glocks come apart the same way. This has a red dot mounted on it, but you could do iron sights. You can attach a laser or a light. So this is a really good, compact, and easily concealable gun. A lot of holsters are made for Glock products. If you do a light, then you wanna make sure you get a holster that's compatible with whatever light you mount onto it. But that's the starting point, I would say, is the Glock 43X, 10 rounds of capacity. Let's go take a look. So if I'm shooting at someone, maybe defending myself, we're really going for the center of the body. So this is called the A zone on this target. So pretty good grouping, you know, consistent shots, not too fast, not too slow, but perfect for this gun, and I'm happy with that accuracy. Okay, next up, and this has a lot of variations, is the Sig P365. And they have tons. They have the XL model, they have different capacities. So when I say 365, when you go into a range or a gun store, you might be looking at a ton of different models, but just in general, the P365 is a good choice. Now, we're upgrading to a 12-round capacity in this magazine, so getting a little higher up here. But a little bit different on the Sig compared to the Glock too, is these guns are built with internal safeties, right? But the Glock specifically has a trigger shoe safety built into it. And what I mean by that is if you do not depress the center of the trigger back when you're pulling this trigger, it's not gonna go off. The Sig, still safe, right? But there's no trigger shoe. So trigger shoe safety per se. Still a good trigger pull, easy to shoot, easy to pull back, but you have to be able to reach the trigger, whether you pick up this gun or a different size gun. But again, slim line, it's so much more comfortable for women when the grips are a lot smaller and not wide. This comes optic cut, so if you want to put a red dot on it, I do like that option. That's kind of where I'm going with a lot of these guns, is I think stock firearms should come optics ready in case you want to put a red dot on it. So one of my favorites, P365. Again, we're aiming in the A zone. We got that meat portion of the body. We're talking about concealed carry handguns. So we need a good accuracy, good grouping. Man, that's consistent. We shot 12 rounds. Can't beat that. Happy with that grouping. Next up, and this is actually the gun that I carry every day. I kind of upgraded with capacity to this one, just to a 13+1. But this is the IWI Masada Slim. So they make a full-size Masada, they have tactical Masadas, but this is specifically for concealed carry. And I'm going with the slim fit again. All of these grips are similar in the width. So nice and comfortable for women, easy to reach trigger. And if you notice, similar to the Sig, we've got 2 flat triggers. What that means is the trigger's not curved or rounded. It's a nice flat trigger when you're going to pull. I prefer that. Same thing that I mentioned before is this has a trigger shoe safety. So say I'm pulling back the trigger, but not depressing that center trigger safety, this gun's not gonna go out unless you actually pull the trigger with the trigger safety built in. It's easy to reach for me, and that's what I like about seeing women shoot this gun, is it's a really, really easy reach and you're not having to adjust your hand in order to pull the trigger. Optics ready, I've already got my optic on here. You can also run iron sights, but yeah, 13 rounds of capacity. Ooh. All right, that was the IWI Masada Slim, and to be fair, this is my concealed carry handgun that I EDC with every day. A little bit more fun for me to play with it. I ran a little bit faster, but we're still talking a good A-zone grouping. And again, we're leveling up in terms of our capacity. So this is a 13 round capacity. You definitely want more if you're ever in a fight, but I'm happy with that grouping as well. So these guns are just performing well, and they're very easy to manage. When you've got female hands, maybe a little bit smaller, I'm telling you, the slim frame of these firearms are just perfection for women. All right, so this is the Canic Med MC9. And I actually have 2 magazines up here. So it comes with a 12 rounder, and then we also have a 15 rounder, which can be a little bit more bulky to concealed carry. And maybe for women, this just might not be, the magazine that you want to go with. But I do like that they include an extension for the pinky to have a place. So I have bigger sized hands, so I do need a little bit of a purchase on the bottom of the magazine on this gun. Okay, so let's break down this gun. Similar to like what I was talking about is you have a trigger shoe safety. So if you do not basically pull that trigger shoe safety, the gun's not gonna go off. We've got the optic on here, optics ready, we've got our light again. And similar to what I said before is if you're going to go with this gun with a light or laser, make sure you have a holster that's going to fit it. So Canic Med is a little bit bulkier in terms of the size and the width of the gun, but it's still kind of in line with these slimmer firearms. So easy to shoot, easy to pull the trigger, a good reach here, and good capacity. So that's why I like this gun. Ooh, okay, that was the Canic Med MC9. Remember, this has a 12 round magazine or a 15 round magazine. So for me, I really like the flush fit pinky magazine here, but hey, you could carry 15 rounds if you wanted to. Let's go take a look. Again, very happy with the grouping. So these guns are very manageable, right? These are a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, maybe a little bit more felt recoil, but these are easy to grip, so they're easy to control. And you can get a grouping just like this on any of these firearms. So we've got one more, but that was the Canic. And finally, we don't have the gun in front of you, but I'm gonna show you a little bit about one of the guns I do like. So this is the full-size Walther PDP. They made a Walther PDPF series specifically for females. What's great about that gun is it's designed with that slim fit grip to make it really easy for someone to reach that trigger. Now, Walther paid attention to the ergonomics of a pistol grip, meaning they made it more natural, more comfortable, more just efficient for females to shoot. So the PDPF is a lot smaller and easily concealable. They have 2 sizes. They have a 3.5 inch barrel and a 4 inch barrel. So if you're going with like a concealed carry option, I would size down to the 3.5. Easy to conceal again, slim frame, optics ready. I mean, Walther does a lot right on their guns. You've got the tactical rail, so you can add a light or a laser. But what all of these, oh, and I forgot to mention, sorry, PDPF is going to have a 15 round capacity. So now you're at the highest level of capacity in concealed carry handguns. Okay, we are shooting the Walther PDP. This is the full-size gun, so I'm talking about the Walther PDPF. But this is going to have similar ergonomics, the same accuracy, same sights, and optics ready. So let's check out our grouping. Wow, our 5th and final gun, guys. We've got a great A-zone group from the Walther. You know, all of these barrels are a little bit shorter than your full-size guns. Of course, this one is, but you just can't get any better than that for concealed carry handguns in terms of accuracy. So that was the Walther. So I'm 31 now, and I've been carrying a gun every day for 10 years. I lived in Florida, and that's where I started, so at 21, I was able to go and get my concealed carry permit. The day I turned 21 is actually when I went and took my first class. Since then, I've actually become an instructor, so I teach women all over the country of how to concealed carry, how to test these different firearms, and get comfortable with this. I've taught so many people now that it's fun to see their faces light up when they find a pistol that matches them. But what's interesting too is the 43X wasn't around when I got started. I actually did carry the 43, and I only had 6+1 rounds of capacity. I actually have a P365 that I also carry in a fanny pack. So if you've seen any of Lena Miklick's videos, she has a great tactical fanny pack that she works with like a Velcro holster. And that's good if you want to do maybe a little bit of off-body carry, but I do recommend carrying on-body. Again, I've upgraded to the IWI Masada Slim, so all of these guns too, I've really had a lot of time behind them. Something I recommend is once you get your concealed carry handgun, make sure you go to the range, and I do recommend, this sounds like a lot, shooting at least 500 rounds of ammo through these firearms. You want to be able to trust your life to them, right? So you need to make sure that it runs, doesn't malfunction, it actually works for you. So that's really important. If you can't test fire it before you buy it, make sure you're running ammo through it. The other thing that people don't think about is hollow points. So hollow points are what you want to carry with, and you should test fire that in whatever concealed carry handgun that you choose because they run a little bit differently. So maybe you shoot ballpoint ammo and you go to hollow points and it doesn't function, maybe try a different brand of hollow points. So I highly recommend that. So again, the whole advancement of all of these pistols was not around when I got started, and that's what I love about these companies. There's so many manufacturers now that are working with women, taking feedback from women, and actually developing guns that fit our hands better, are more ergonomical, they are concealed carry ready, and even like Canic, for example, includes a holster when you buy the gun. The Rose for the P365 is actually a pistol that comes in a case, and you have dummy rounds. So something that I talk a lot about when I'm training people is practicing with live rounds and dummy rounds mixed into your magazine. And this way you can actually see if you're maybe jerking the trigger or anticipating the recoil. So I do like that the Rose package kind of comes with everything you need if you're a newer shooter. The other thing that you didn't see on any of these firearms, I don't know if you caught it, is there's no external safeties, meaning there's no grip safety and there's no thumb safety. The reason for this is a lot of people that carry guns don't actually train with their firearms. You know, people like me that shoot tens of thousands of rounds a year, I'm used to gripping the gun hard and always having my thumb push down on the external safety and almost ride that while I'm shooting. But if you're in a situation where you're very stressed and you go to deploy your firearm, if you're not having a proper grip or you don't remember that thumb safety, you can actually safety yourself and not be able to shoot the firearms. So what I want to mention again and reiterate is all of these guns are safe nor unsafe because they are firearms, but they're not going to go off, in the holster. They have built-in internal safeties, trigger shoe safeties, so you can feel comfortable carrying them without that kind of idea that a grip safety or a thumb safety is going to be important. And lastly, it's very important as a firearms instructor myself, is go get training. Don't just take your concealed carry class that is, a ton of instruction, the legal stuff with your state, and maybe a qualifying shot, right? You need to go and get proper training all day, maybe a 2-day class, but really get hands-on learning of how to conceal, maybe how to do a reload if you're having to reload out of a magazine pouch. So training is really important. It's something that I'm passionate about, and it's going to be really important for you on your journey of learning how to carry a handgun and use the one that you choose. So those are the 5 that I recommend getting started with, but I will leave you with this. It's really important that you go put hands on the gun and you choose it for yourself. I might have all these recommendations, and you might go to a shooting range and test them out, and none of them may work for you. So only you can pick out your concealed carry handgun, not me, even though I have some recommendations. So go test fire these, try these if you can, dry fire with them at home, and get comfortable carrying these every day.